What's up, everybody? Welcome to the very first episode of the Response on Play podcast. My name is James.
Steph with a smiley face.
Jake with a regular face?
Andrew with no face.
And Brian with every face. So, James, what do we have to talk about today?
Today we're talking about the article that dropped. Actually, it was just yesterday this article came out. We're talking about the pricing for nationals. Looks pretty good this year. I know I did a little bit of an overview looking at everything, and I'm excited about it. But what about you guys? You guys looked at it yet?
Yes, I looked about 2 minutes ago.
I skimmed it while I was making dinner.
I took a look at it. I mean, it's exciting to see the kinds of pricing that we'll get for this year's Nats. But I mean, of course, we'll get to more detail momentarily, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. This is actually going to be my first Universus Nats. I've been playing for a little bit, but I haven't really gotten to go to a Nats. I think this has been my first real year for competing in actual events outside of local tier stuff, so I'm extremely excited.
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
true. I was going to say, Steph with a smiley face has been to more events than you.
I have. It's because I'm better.
I mean, that's why you're the
That's
captain.
why you're the
Get twice
captain.
better. You're team captain. Well, let's take a look at it here. So, looking at the participation level, everybody gets this when they sign up. When they come in, there are 3 items that they'll receive. It's looks like it's a participation pin stating that they went to the nationals. Participation variant of the card pushing the limits, and then a nationals play mat. Looking actually really good this year with a kind of metallic finish on it. I like the way these ones are looking.
Yeah, I really like this participation card. I think, like, as far as cards that they have made in AOT sets, I think it's one of the better looking ones. It's got like really good contrast. There's like Aaron leaning over the sink. It's like the opening to Silent Hill 2. He's like looking in the mirror. He's got like his red form against like the monochrome background. It looks really, really good. It's also like an Aaron thirst trap, so that helps.
I thought that was MGK.
Fair.
So,
So I have an opinion on this part. I like the card art. The pin's cool. Obviously, I haven't seen this mat in person, but I'd like to see it with maybe, I don't know, maybe there's more contrast in person. But right now, it's just going to be a gray mat, which is not super exciting. But, I mean, at the same time, it's not like I didn't have to win this mat.
Right,
Yeah,
and it looks like there's a bit of a sheen on it, so I wonder if they're going to try to do some kind of effect that makes it look a little more metallic in person, which would be really cool.
Which would make it cooler, yeah, for sure.
I was kind of sharing the same sentiment that Brian has. Is like I think the pin's neat. The participation promo looks pretty good. The mat, at least just from looking at it and not seeing it in person, doesn't seem all too like special or fancy. I mean, I like the sort of like metallic silver it has, but I'm just so used to other Nats playmats that we got for participation just being a bit more, I guess, artistic. This one just seems more plain.
Agreed.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
definitely
little
seems like they went for more of
simpler.
like a minimalist style, it seems like.
So they did a similar thing in, I think it was a local sword championship. It was just like an orange mat with like
Yeah, it
kind of a
was-
gradient, and like a lot of people weren't happy about that. So I'm kind of surprised they decided to do the same thing.
Yeah, at least with that, Matt, there was just a tad bit more to it. I actually kind of liked that, Matt, so I'm sounding contradictory here, but I just think it's more of the color choice with that one, and it was more of an orange like gradient. And it felt like that one just had a bit more going on compared to this, Matt. This one's just sort of like a flat, like metallic silver with an emblem slapped on it.
Yeah, it's surprising comparing it to like the most recent like championship thing that we did. That was like it was like Mikasa coming down on the Wall Titan. Like, I mean, that looks really cool. So I'm just surprised they didn't do something like that, like something to do with AOT, since that's what like the participation cards are.
Also, to the point that this map could just look better in person, I have said that with that champion mat, that I just looking at like an image of it didn't seem all that great, but seeing it in person, it actually looks pretty good in person. So
Yeah.
it's probably going to be the same thing here.
I could do with a little bit more art on it, but I mean, I think going simplistic for like the participation mat is pretty fine. As far as like, you know, wow factor, like the promo card's cool. I like when they give us useful promo cards. I think Pushing the Limits is a pretty decent card. Like, you could play it in a deck feasibly, where there are promo cards we've gotten through this year that have just like I've never seen play in any of my decks. and I don't think they ever will. Anytime we get a promo card where that we can play, I'm down for. I think the Nats pen looks really good. I think it's very simplistic, but in a good way. The mat, I'm not going to say I don't like it. I'm a mat collector, so I definitely want one. But I think they could have gone more with it, but it's not the worst thing they could have put on mat. Like I was kind of expecting just like an orange mat, or like they could have just put a gray mat with Universus on the side of it and just been done with it. But at least they went and put the Nationals logo on it, so you do like it is like a little bit of a prestige. Like I went and attended Nats, so it's your Nat mat.
Yeah, they could have
That's
just given
true.
us no mat.
True.
They could have just given us nothing. With that being said, let's move on to the next section.
Yeah, moving on here, we've got the top cut finalist and champion level pricing. So it says here, making your way to the top cuts of the 2024 Nationals not only gives you event exclusive cards and playmats, but the top 8 will receive invitations and travel vouchers to the World Championship. The higher you place, the better the travel voucher you'll get, along with your invitation. Top 32 will get additional copies of the Pushing the Limits, a top 32 variant. Same with top 16. Looks like this one has the actual top 16 written on the top there. Moving on to top 8, we get a little bit more. We get High Speed Dodge as a top 8 variant. We have a top 8 Nationals mat, looking similar to the basic one, but saying top 8 on it. They get, of course, their invitation to the 2024 Worlds and a travel voucher for $500. Moving on to the top 4, we have High Speed Dodge again, this time a top 4 variant. Again, the top 4 playmat, invitation, and then the travel voucher for this one is $1,000. And it says here that making it to the final battle of National reaps impressive rewards, including unique cards for the top 2 and top 1 contestants. Looking at those, we have a finalist variant of High Speed Dodge, finalist playmat, and the champion of Nationals receiving the champion variant of teaming with the Attack Titan, the champion playmat, a Nationals trophy plaque, their invitation, and a $1,500 voucher, which seems pretty cool. What do we think about that?
I have opinions.
Let's hear them.
So one, I forgave the mat in the first section. I was pretty on rails. You're telling me the champion mat and top 8 mat is the same mat, but it says top 8. No, I'm out. I am beyond disappointed at that. Like, that is sad. Because it doesn't even feel like a different mat to what everyone else is getting. It just says top 8. Whereas, like, at Worlds last year, there were different heroes on the mats. So, like, there was only, one Deku mat, I think? Like, I think it was the champion mat, which is cool having the different heroes on that mat. But, like, this one, it's like, okay, cool, top 8. Sick, okay? It's functionally the same mat that everyone is getting for this event. It's kind of like the Titans in the Wall mat. You could already get that art on a mat. It just, this one says champion. Like, I don't like mats for going to events, like exclusive mats for, like, at least topping in events. If you want to go whatever with it, like, you could have done the whatever and it says Nationals on it or whatever for participation, that's fine. But when you get into, like, top 8 of what's probably going to be 100-something plus players, and you, like, the mat's not even, like, unique, I feel like there's a big disconnect. It almost feels lazy.
I'm going to share that sentiment with Jake. I also think that you can forgive the simplistic design of the participation mat for this year's Nats, but I think the top cut mats should have been a bit more distinct compared to the participation mat. It kind of comes off as lazy to me. Yeah, I don't think this is a fantastic mat for top cut.
Bring it around to a positive note, which is the travel vouchers are really nice.
100%.
Yes.
$500 travel voucher for top 8, like, that's your ticket. Probably more than your ticket, depending on where you live. And that's top 8. So 8 people getting $500 is pretty huge. And then top 4 getting 1,000, and then finalists getting 1,000, and champion getting 1,500. Like, that's not just paying for their ticket, that's probably paying for their hotel too. So I think that's really cool. I don't know if they've done that before, but I'm really glad that they did that this time.
I believe they did it last year.
I do want to praise them for that type of stuff. That's the thing. It's not to be super negative, Mr. Negative Nancy over here, but I care a lot of I that is what I'm called sometimes. I care about playmats a lot. So when I see a bland one for what should feel like a good achievement, I get a little discouraged. The art on the champion promo teaming with the Attack Titan, fantastic. That art, very good. The high
Yes.
speed dodge, very good art. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I like the variants. I think even though I am not an Attack on Titan enjoyer, I don't like Attack on Titan really at all. I feel like a lot of the art and a lot of the style that has gotten translated into the game from like the manga panels and stuff like that are fantastic. They do a great job with those.
Mm-hmm.
Just want more from the playmat. As far as like travel vouchers go, I mean, this is also another good thing because Nats is what, a month before World. So if, say, Joe Schmo, or in this case, like, say I went to Nats and I top 8'd, I'm not planning on going to Worlds because they're making it an exclusive event. Like, you can't even go watch. There's no side anything, which is a different conversation in and of itself. But that means that I'm not booking my flight to Worlds because I'm not planning on being there because this is my first real competitive season and I haven't performed to think that I should be at Worlds. But if I went and top 8'd, at least there is something to cushion the blow for people that are getting that last minute invite, because you can book a plane with your travel voucher and get that flight there, and maybe it also covers a tiny bit of your hotel so that you can make it there. There are still problems with logistics and like, okay, well, I asked off my job for Nats and now I've got to go ask off again like a month later for another couple of days off to go play a card game again. So I can definitely see in professions that aren't like mine where that might be a little hard. Like, I'm sure if I go to my boss and I went, hey, I placed and I'm going to Worlds, my boss would be like, sick, you can definitely have those days off, but I work in a card store. Like, we sell trading cards. My boss definitely has that brain, but most bosses don't.
My opinion is, having seen the other parts of the participation and etc., there's a lot of silver, or maybe it's supposed to be like the pearlescence that they use for the pearls. It's on the cards, looks really cool. I'm curious if this little top box is gonna be on there, or if they're just saying, hey, this is gonna have a version of it, etc. We don't know that for sure. And then I was going to say, obviously we don't technically know the top 4 and the finalist and champion versions of the mat aren't different than the image, but obviously they're going to be the same. That's the whole point of showing the top 8, is that you see what you're getting, and to continue the example. I agree that the mat could be more interesting. Honestly, the mat could have probably just matched these cards, and that would have probably looked really cool.
Yeah, I agree. I want to circle back a little bit to the praising the artwork on the cards. I think they look very good. I do think that those boxes are probably going to be on the cards, or there's going to be some kind of stamp, because they always say top 16, champion contender, whatever. They've typically in the past have always said that, so I assume there's going to be some kind of placing stamp on the ones that you get for placing. But I think the card art looks great. I do wish that we could have seen some of that creativity translated into the map.
From there, let's talk about the rest of this article, which is not about pricing. It's about other stuff there.
No, it's still about pricing, but for other stuff.
Moving on, we have the champion trophy plaque and the team event champion belts. So looks like our champion of Nats this year will receive a commemorative plaque, and for the teams events here, which as their battle royale, will come with a belt to show the power of teamwork.
That's interesting. I think that's fun.
I love that. I
think that's very cool.
I absolutely love that as like a prizing thing, is a belt for winning teams. Like, that is sick.
Yeah, I would agree. It is definitely different kind of pricing, but also I think it gives people the sort of, I guess, drive or the want to be like, I want to win so I can get this belt.
Yeah, you better.
And I think it looks good. I think it's a good looking belt.
You better believe every time I enter anywhere with a belt, I expect the glass to shatter and I'm gonna hit somebody with the Stone Cold Stunner.
Smash a beer can over your head.
Exactly. I think this is a fantastic way to celebrate like a winner. I think a plaque and stuff like that are always neat. Anytime I've ever gone to an event with like cool things to memorialize a good victory, it feels good. It never feels bad being handed a plaque that says, "Hey, you won. You did it."
Agreed.
Which is cool.
Fair.
I think the belt's just a really neat touch for something different, like battle royale and teams.
And finally, here we have the prize wall. Now, we heard in an earlier article this year that with the upcoming season the upcoming competitive season, that where they're working on overhauling a lot of the way that it works, having more interesting events with interesting prize walls. And they said that that would start at this year's Nats. And looking at what I can see here, it looks like they put through. They've got some pretty cool prizes lined up here. It looks like they have 3 mats, one for the air symbol, one for chaos, and one for death on kind of a smashed concrete, cracked concrete looking background. I think they look good. Looks like we have both the cards History's Greatest Monster and Trinket in double-sized variants, so that's going to be pretty cool if you like those cards. We have some resource symbol pins for Fire Life Order. We have a retro reprint for Rose Whiplash,
Yeah.
Yes.
possibly bringing back reversals.
Which
Who
no
knows?
one is excited about.
No one is bringing back reverse.
Don't you talk bad about reversals, Brian.
Don't stop. You've never even played a reversal.
Never played a reversal in my life. I'm sorry.
Nobody's bringing back reversals.
They're not, but continue.
But the card looks nice.
It does. It looks very good.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Something that is coming back that's exciting to see. We get speed and damage dice that are not in those boxes. So you can just go out if you have missed the boxes or you didn't want to spend the extra for the other things that came along with it. You can get just the speed and damage dice sets, which is exciting because I know it's really good for a lot of new players. And then finally here we've got Critical Role Challenger Series and Godzilla Challenger Series uncut sheets, which are going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, so this is what I'm most excited about, honestly, from Nats, is like more support for these side events. Because let's be real, 80+% of us are not getting anything. We're getting our participation stuff, and we're not going to be able to compete on day 2. Like, day 2 is what, like 16, top 16, right?
No, day 2 will still
It'll
be
be-
tournament because of the way it's set up.
it's a 3-day event this time.
Oh, is it? So
yeah,
what is?
So we're playing Friday, Saturday, and then tops are Sunday.
Yeah, and then top will be Sunday.
Wow.
And it should be top 32. To come back to something Jake had said earlier, he was saying 100-something person event. Last year was 350 something, I believe.
Yeah,
It was in the
Last year's
300.
people.
Yeah, last year's Nats was 300
I-
plus.
I think it was 400 plus, almost 500.
Yeah.
So I was like, I agree that like there's going to be hundreds of people who obviously don't have anything to do going
they're just sitting
into
around.
the back half of Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
And also I'm just like, I agree that it also kind of talks about his sentiment. I was like, some of the stuff could be a little bit more exciting if you had to fight through so many people. I like the death mat, casual death enjoyer, so I kind of want to get that. I wish we were getting the tokens as well for the dice, like the dice and the
Oh,
cards
yeah.
are available.
Those tokens are nice.
Because yeah, I'd like another set of them just to be able to easily show on like webcam or just like kind of in person, be like, hey, this is sealed, or hey, this was frozen, etc. Because I think those tokens were nice, and I'd like to see them again.
Oh yeah, those tokens are sick. I think having the dice is like a separate thing is sick. Because I don't like spending $40-something. Like one of our locals, not gonna talk about it, still has them, but like $40 for a set that I don't need any cards from. I'm not spending $40 for one set of these dice. Silly.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But for like a prize wall thing, these are cool. And I agree
agreed.
the tokens would be rad. The double-sized trinkets. Is that a card? Is it?
Yeah,
Trinket,
it's one
yes,
of
It
the-
is. It's a Critical Role card.
It's the asset with Trinket, the bear.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
it is cool.
I do like resource pins and the resource symbols. It is like one of the unique points about our game. I definitely like I like pins. I like putting them on things. I like the stickers. I think the playmats are cool. I mean, they're not like crazy or anything, but I like them. They're a big plus side. I'd rather these than nothing.
Yeah, same. The only downside is I wish we saw all 12 for
Agreed.
mats and
Yeah.
pins. Maybe not for mats because like that's probably a lot for them to have to make.
I would like
But I feel like the
t-shirts.
pins would have been fine, right? I feel like that would have been easier. Maybe. I don't know. I don't order pins. So maybe it would have been way harder.
I would have liked t-shirts. Like that'd have been cool. Or
Sure,
like,
I'd wear a Death shirt.
yeah, like I think it would just like that kid, what's his name, Sid from Toy Story.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
Everyone would think it's a really bad knockoff Punisher shirt.
I'm in. That's awesome. I love the style of the retro reprint cards for Yu Yu Hakusho.
They look so good.
Yeah.
They look
Yes.
great. They make me want to play retro anyway, which I think I might try to dip my toes into retro this upcoming Nats. Haven't super decided. Definitely going to be trying to do teams or something, but I really love the style of these, and getting Rose Whiplash as a promo. I know Andrew is pretty excited at this. I would like to see more of these and like cool variants of like a lot of the Yu Yu Hakusho stuff, because honestly that was my favorite IP from this year, and it's pretty sad that some of it's lackluster and we probably won't get much more of it, if any at all. So
I mean, I didn't even expect this.
exactly. I do feel like it kind of fumbled the bag a little bit earlier this year in like some of the promos we got not being Yu Yu Hakusho oriented during the prime Yu Yu Hakusho season. I would love more of it. It's a fan favorite IP. I love it.
You.
No, there are plenty of people that like it. I know at least
There are
two.
dozens of you.
There's at least 3.
I think this card looks sick. It's not on any symbol I actually care about. That's like the only downside for Rose Whiplash. I was like, if I were to play retro, I don't know that I play these symbols, so I don't know that I care. But with that being said, we've got the dates for all the nationals. I know all of us are planning to go to the U.S. Nationals, and to a point that Jake was talking about, U.S. Nats to Worlds is 3 weeks. It's a very short window because we're the last Nats.
So I have a question.
I have an answer, probably.
So it says, remember that if you sign up early December 14th, 2025, you qualify for 4 extra tickets to nationals? What does that mean? 4 extra tickets for what?
So I'm curious if that means like prize wall tickets,
Yeah, like prize wall tickets.
or if
I
it
assume it
means you
means
could
that.
get somebody else in.
I just assumed it was prize wall tickets.
Prize wall tickets make the most sense to me.
Yeah.
But I don't know, actually.
I also assume that was a typo. It was supposed to say December 2024 instead of 25.
Yeah, probably.
That probably is a typo, but I mean, like, the 4 extra tickets is what I'm curious, because I don't. Maybe it says it in their full season 4 ticket thing.
Yeah, I'm looking in the other article that it links. I don't see anything in it, but that doesn't mean that they didn't say more in the Discord. My assumption would be that it's prize wall tickets. That would make the most sense.
Opinion on that pending.
Yeah, opinion on this pending on whether what we can use those for. I assume it's just these.
Yeah,
I assume it's the prize wall, which I'm fine with, because
I think the prize wall stuff is super rad. I'm hoping that next year's stuff is a little bit better than this. I think this is a good start for a prize wall. I definitely want to praise this.
Agreed.
And say, like,
yeah,
this is
way
good.
cooler than like the prize
PC.
wall we
Yeah.
got.
Like saying like KC of like 2023.
Yeah, like it's a big step up from there. So I'm excited just for that. And like, next year, I know that a lot of that team was talking about like, yeah, this one's not gonna be as big as we wanted it to be because it's a little bit more last minute for us as far as like the prize wall and stuff's concerned. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we do for the next one.
I also don't know if they always get like room deals and stuff for Nats. Like I said, this is gonna be my first Nats attending, but I really do appreciate when we do get a little bit of a discount for going to an event like $129 for a night for a room, especially for like a 3-day event. It's nice. I really do appreciate that type of stuff. Like, it's really nice to be able to get a reduced rate so that we can spend the time and go. I know we had a lot of fun in Atlanta. So
it was a great time.
Looking forward to having a lot of fun at Nats. I do want to praise that and make sure that like some of this small stuff that most people might take for granted or whatever does get kind of like pumped up a little bit, because I really think it's rad. They could have just said, yeah, we don't care, book your stuff, whatever. I do like when there are venues and there's 2 hotels on that list, so
Agreed.
pretty excited. I think it's a good take.
Yeah, agreed. I definitely
Yeah,
agree with that.
I like that a lot. I think that's really important. I think it's the little things that are going to end up mattering. I mean, you're trying to grow a game, you want to do everything that you can to make sure that your players are taken care of, so that way they keep coming back and playing your game. And things like this are a big step forward.
Absolutely.
Prize ball like plays into that a lot, just because you go to these games and it softens the blow when you don't win anything except participation, to be like, well, I can hang around and try to win something in draft, or like I can hang around and try to do teams, or I can hang around and try to get tickets for the prize ball, because then I could still win something. It's not winning Nats, but I still got something for paying for my ticket in my hotel down here, you know?
Yeah, I think I personally was never too interested in doing side events at regionals and Nats and what have you. I just wasn't too interested in doing side events because obviously I was there for the main event. I was there to try to win, try to climb the ranks, if you will. So I didn't really care too much about side events. But with this prize wall, while it's not knocking it out of the park, I think it is a valid first step for what they are trying to do for the side events and prize wall going forward. Especially with this Altar Rose Whiplash, I am personally a lot more interested and incentivized to try to get these. Because I wouldn't say I'm an old head, but I have played universes for a good bit, and I remember playing with reversals. I also liked playing with Karama and playing with reversals and what have you. And I'm so glad that this card got reprinted, and I'm just excited. Like this prize wall is a good step in the right direction.
Also, I think that a big cue from like Atlanta, right? So we did draft in Atlanta, and it was $15 draft. I don't know what their loss margin is on that, but if we can do like that $20 draft type thing, I actually had a blast drafting, and I will say my pulls for draft, dog water. I didn't pull anything above a rare, while everyone else in my draft pod, I'm looking at three of you in here, all
Uh-huh.
pulled URs and stuff, and I just sat there and went, oh, another rare, another rare. And even though I only got rares at like 15-20 bucks, there's not a lot to complain about. And it was a lot of fun playing. I wish maybe there'd been like, no, actually I don't. I was gonna say try to modify that, but there's really not. I think the pricing was fine, like getting a cool alt for playing, and then
He
getting
just
to sit
wishes
there.
he was better.
Yeah, I wish I was better. Got it. You won. You got me there. Uh, but I really had a blast. Like the people that weren't like part of our friend group that we were sitting there like playing with, it was fun to chat with them and make them slightly uncomfortable while we were drafting. And I think that was a big plus. And I'd like to see more of like that. Like the cheap draft to get people like really engaged talking to other people, because not only during the event did I have a lot of communication points and like talking with my opponents and a couple of people near me, but it's kind of you don't want to sit there and talk to your opponent like except about the card game, and the people next to you, like you don't want to sit there and talk to the people next to you while you're playing. Obviously it's hard to keep focus for you and the people around you, but when you're drafting, it's a little bit more of a chill environment, and it's a lot more fun to sit there and just talk and have a good time. Even one of the pods sitting next to me on my left, because I was on the end of our pod, like I was talking to some of the guys in that pod and having a fun time, and all of my opponents and like multiple people that I talked to nearby, like about general stuff, was a blast.
Yeah, I think draft was a really positive experience. It was like you said. I don't know what kind of loss they took, but I think it was actually, if I remember right, I think it was $10. I think it was like $10 for the full 6 packs, and which is a great deal. And I again I had a really good time. I pulled some interesting cards. The rest in peace, risky maneuvers. But I think it was a really good. I think it was a great time. Atlanta, I will say, great event. I loved Atlanta, and I'm
Atlanta was
excited
so
to see
fun.
what that's going to be.
07 for risky encounter.
Hey,
Yeah. Press F to pay respects. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Atlanta was a big step up from Vegas, because we all did go to Vegas also earlier this year. And while I had fun at Vegas, and the venue was fine, most of my highlights for going to Vegas weren't really the Universus event. I had a blast hanging out with my friends that I hang out with all the time. and then which rest in peace, Brian.
Yep, I died. Sorry.
And I had more fun hanging out at the Airbnb and stuff than like actually like at the event. Whereas like Atlanta, I had a lot more fun. Like Atlanta was fine. We didn't really go and do a whole lot. We spent a lot of time hanging out with people and talking to people. And the event itself was like a big amount of fun.
Agreed. Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely agree.
I will say there's something special about Vegas being at the Level Up Expo. I thought that was really fun. It was like, in that case, like they didn't really need side events because the side event was the expo. It's like, yeah, you lost, but hey, you're at Level Up Expo. Like, go check out Artist Alley or like whatever's going on around you. Like, there
Yeah,
was
I'd agree.
cool stuff going on. So like,
There's a shit ton of stuff going on.
yeah, like I felt like
Yo.
that had its place and I enjoyed that. But like if they're going to do more things like Atlanta where it's like you're by an airport and not much else. And also don't walk because apparently you'll die at night. Then like
Yes.
Maybe.
yeah, then they
Maybe you'll
need
die.
to have more side events like at a place like that because we're stuck at the hotel with nothing but our thoughts and each other. So like give us something to do.
Yeah, I think exactly.
Mhm.
It is crazy the amount of people that told us, "Hey, don't walk outside." Oh, you're in a group. That's
Rank the
good.
numbers.
You
Yeah.
could die. It was what, 2 Uber drivers and a random Samaritan on the side of the street
Yeah,
Who was
it
alone, by the way,
who was alone, by the
was
way.
alone.
at night.
Yeah, that was an interesting.
That was Jet Li
experience
you
for
were
sure.
talking to. He was fine.
No, that was a crazy sentiment. Like that, just everyone was like, "Yeah, after dark, maybe don't go walking around." Also, stay in a group. Scares people off.
I would,
Yeah, it was.
Spoiler:
to
we did
see-
walk around after dark, but we were in a
Mhm.
group.
It's true.
I would like to see a venue with a better location than the Atlanta one because I wish that there was more stuff just like within safe walking distance. Like if it was closer to downtown, there would have been so much to do. But like
Mhm.
with that airport, we just kind of had to Uber everywhere. And I guess it was convenient for being next to the airport, but it was a little boring location wise.
I thought the hotel itself was really nice.
Yeah, hotel was fine.
Yeah, the hotel was like the venue was really good. Rooms are clean.
Yeah.
Beds were
Correct.
comfy. General hotel things. Like
Yeah.
I think the venue was a nice venue. I had a lot of fun talking to Sean from Rochester CCG.
Yep. Sean O'Brien.
Yep. Shout out him. Blast talking to him about different card game stuff. I've been working in card stores for the last 6 years of my life. So it's really fun to talk to somebody that does that also, and their opinions on like the game, with like also my opinions. He definitely did jazz me up for retro a little bit more. I think I am looking forward to retro a little bit more after talking to him. So big kudos there.
I had a ton of fun talking to people at the event. Like I feel like because everybody was stuck at the venue with nothing to do, people were just like hanging out in the lobby, drinking, chatting. Like I talked to one of the only other girls who plays this game. There's what, like 10 of us maybe?
There
So
are
that was
actually
fun.
maybe a dozen of you.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
there are
there's
dozens.
probably dozens of you, but
Yeah. So that was fun. Got to talk to Levi a little bit. Like it was cool that it kind of forced everyone to like schmooze because like what the hell else are you gonna do? Like you're at a hotel next to the airport.
Well, I do want to touch on this. We will be hopefully running back some of what happened in Atlanta at Nats.
mhm.
We just got to do a little bit of planning.
Mhm.
I did have fun on that last night.
Yeah.
We kind of wish
Yeah.
we didn't stay up till 4 a.m. with early flights.
Yeah, I had a flight at
7.
7:30. I needed to be there at like 5 a.m.
Were you guys still drunk when you got on the plane in the morning?
No, but I was very tired.
Mm.
I've got a high alcohol tolerance, to be honest. But I definitely think sorry, spoilers, 21 up conversation. We did a little bit of boozing, but
Boozing and schmoozing.
boozing and smoozing,
Yeah.
it was a lot
That
of
what
fun.
it
Like
sounded like.
he kind of what it sounded like. I had a blast. It was fun. I definitely like hanging out with people, around my age group that also partake in some of that stuff. I'm not by any means an alcoholic, but I do enjoy, having a couple drinks and, chatting. I feel you really get a real sense of people when you're in that mood. So it was a lot of fun.
I like that we stayed true to the inevitability that if you get more than 3 nerds in a room, they will play Smash. Someone's playing Smash.
Somebody's
Like,
playing Smash. I'm probably gonna bring my Switch just to
Yeah.
guarantee that we play Smash.
and we play it. We reached that part of the night where everybody was drunk enough that we were like, "Can I have Smash in my room?" And someone was like, "You have Smash?" And then everybody went and played Smash.
Exactly. It was
Yeah.
it was pretty crazy. It was a blast.
It was a lot of fun.
The crew that we played, keeping this, keeping other people's names out of this conversation in case it's not the thing they like. We're talking about you, and not saying names, but it was a blast. Hopefully,
But
we
you
can
were
do it
all
again.
cool.
You were all
yeah.
cool, and hopefully we get to do it again in where are we going? Grapevine, Texas.
Grapevine,
Yes.
Texas.
Right next to the DFW airport.
Oh, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
I missed out on Atlanta due to reasons, so I don't have a hat to throw in the ring here. Just listen to everybody talking about how fun Atlanta was, and I'm like, yeah, I'll take your word for it. I couldn't be there, but at least there was a good bit of positive notes of Atlanta's event.
Yeah,
Trust
sounds
me,
like-
Andrew. Losing at our locals and losing at Atlanta would have been pretty similar for you.
Facts.
I was
Well-
gonna say now you just have FOMO and you know you have to show up to the next thing.
I mean, it sounds like we're running it back for Nats. And also, if you're listening to the podcast, you're invited to play Smash with us.
Absolutely.
Probably.
Probably. Well,
Assuming-
probably.
Assuming we have Smash.
No, we'll have
We'll
Smash.
We'll have
Smash.
Smash.
I
That's
will.
a
Be,
given.
and since we're only 4 hours away, where I'm at currently from
Mhm.
like Grapevine, Texas. I'll be driving more than likely, so
Same.
I will probably have extra bags with me.
Sure.
So I will probably just bring a bag that's my Switch, some controllers, and a couple of games. And then I'm also planning on bringing decks for a different game. Not going to talk about that, but I definitely hope that the 4 people that end up listening to this, if they want to hang out, we'll be hanging out.
And this will be your invitational ticket. Just show them the last like minute or two of this part of the podcast if you're listening as your ticket to play Smash or this other card game.
Correct. You'll have to play it to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't have this audio recording on you, not invited.
We're
I
not.
don't
letting
know. I
you
have,
into
I have
that.
a feeling. I think they could just come up and say the name of the podcast, and you know what? I'd be surprised. I'd hang out with that person all night.
Yeah, honestly, that gives them a pass. Oh wow, you were on response on play. All right, bro, come on in.
Pretty
Well,
much.
to be fair, James, it's just gonna be me saying it to you, so it's just gonna be you and me hanging out all night.
Oh man, I think I have plans actually.
That makes sense.
I can't. I have future diarrhea. I'm sorry, I gotta cancel.
Oh my god.
Well,
Um,
Talking about things that we're gonna do in Atlanta, or excuse me, in Texas for Nats.
Texas.
Rounding out the episode here. Any ideas on what we're playing? Anybody got an idea on what they might be taking?
So I've got a couple ideas that I'm working through. One of which being newest Aaron. I thinking something similar along the lines of like Endeavor 3, but Aaron with some added spice. I think it seems like it's playable, and I'm also looking at new Levi and Levi from last set. Are kind of like the main 3, and then of course I'm always looking at a Deku to play because Deku's my
Yep.
boy. I collect them.
So I'm looking at a similar list with Reiner, the new Reiner. I think the mill idea is pretty cool. I like what the character does. I don't know if it's good enough. And of course, they didn't get touched. I think everybody's just looking at the new Bertolt. The character's kind of crazy.
Yup.
I'm in the early stages of cooking up an idea of using Night Eye to remove all their cool stuff and then have everything be unblockably fast.
I already hate it.
Especially if the Death Casino lists stay popular, because they're just doing my work for me too. They want to
Yeah.
mill themselves. I want to mill them. Like, it's a match made in heaven, right? But I'm not sure how actually viable that'll be. That's just like in a mental, like that could be good. But that's about as far as I am at the moment for it.
I think Night Eye. You and I were talking about Night Eye yesterday, and I think Night Eye is like still sneaky interesting. In Vegas, I played against a Night Eye, and unfortunately, she played against my Yusuke list, and my Yusuke list 0 to 100 is very fast, and I got an extra turn to set up before going off, and she she was not expecting to lose her entire health bar in one turn. Neither was the Byakko player at that event. That is my favorite thing about playing Yusuke 2 is when you do it, when you get the sauce and you run through and they don't have something to stop you and they just go, oh, you just did 38 in one turn on like your third turn. And they just look at you with like bewilderment. So sick. But the Night Eye list that I played against was pretty cool.
I have a couple ideas for going to Atlanta because I was still planning to go to Atlanta at the time. I was going to take Toya, and he's a potential character I am still taking. I'm going to take the Nats. I think Toya has decent potential against some of these decks that sort of these dunk attacks that just pump a lot of damage on the attack and just hope you can't deal with it. Toya can just negate all the speed depending on how much you have tapped, on top of the more you block their strings as Toya, the more they have to tap down their stage, and on top of having to tap down their stage for checks, they're not going to have much of a board left, maybe building one or two after, depending on how deep they are in their string. And then Toya just has the opportunity to crack back and just kill their opponent. And I've done it multiple times with Toya where my opponent just extends, their board's tapped down, and I am just able to punish them for it. I am a bit concerned with Origins of Power being released. I feel like there's a lot more consistent stat gain. So I think Toya becomes a little less viable. But a part of me still doesn't want to give up on Toya because I do like playing the deck. I think he's fun. He's very interesting. But if not Toya, I'm thinking of playing Historia Reese. I have a list already. I've played it a little bit on Tabletop Sim. I think the character is very fun, honestly. Just being able to draw a bunch of cards, build with the build I have, just building in foundations, stacking wall counters and healing and all this stuff, and just being able to pump out respectable damage. Reese seems to be a pretty good pick for Nats, I think. So my two choices, I'm still going back and forth between Toya and Reese.
Yeah, and just to clarify here, because there are two, we're talking about Toya from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, correct. Yes, I probably already would have had it on screen, but we are talking about the Toya from Dark Tournament, not Toya Setsuno from Undaunted Raid, because that Toya might as well not exist.
And finally, to wrap it up, Captain, what are your thoughts? What do you think's good?
Listen, I'm what we call in the business a pilot. I don't like making decks. I don't like testing decks. I don't like looking at what's in decks. Like, I just pull cards off the top and I play them. And for that reason, I'm just going to play Godzilla.
Fair.
But I did think about Kenny. I just don't... He just runs, like... So, Kenny on Death was cool because he had risky maneuvers, or encounters or whatever, and that got banned. And so now Kenny on Death is like, why? And then Kenny on Chaos is just Godzilla's kit, more or less, with, like, some funny stuff in there. But it's like... If I'm going to play Godzilla's kit, why would I not just play Godzilla? I have a fancy card for him, and I know how to play him. But also, because I'm a pilot, I also just kind of follow the meta at this point. So if they don't do anything about Berthold 2, who seems really, really, really good, why would I not just play what's, like, top of the meta right now? You know, I don't really have that much pride about building my own decks. Like, it was cool that I built my own deck, but I kind of just felt like I glued people's ideas together and called it my own. So... That's kind of where I'm at. Like, if Berthold 2 doesn't get touched, and if James does well in locals, I'll just play James's deck, and I'll get my sense of accomplishment from piloting it, and maybe piloting it better than him. That would be really funny.
Definitely piloting it better than him. I've seen him play this game.
But I think, yeah, Cart Titan, I think James said that looks kind of cool. Cart Titan's so lame, like, on paper, visually.
Everybody knows that Cart Titan is everybody's favorite Attack on Titan character.
Yeah.
Like, from the show.
If Cart Titan is good, then I'll possibly play Cart Titan over Berthold 2. If Berthold 2 and Cart Titan either get if they get fucking nerfed, then I probably won't play them. I'll just default to Godzilla.
I still think Godzilla has a place in the current meta. I still think Godzilla is good, especially with the AOT sets, just giving him more 5 div plus attacks to play with. And I still think Godzilla has a place in the meta right now, because someone's going to sit across from a Godzilla and still be like, oh, well, I just hope that they just don't have the nuts to just blow me up on their second turn.
That's when Godzilla feels like the worst. Is like you have a little bit of events on Godzilla, but like if you don't get your setup, you don't get any momentum, and like they're playing something aggro, like you will just get like characters in this game can and will do 35 damage in a turn. I've done it before, and people have done it to me. People who are not Godzilla, so it's really not that hard.
But also on top of the fact that Godzilla does have a board reset effectively of just, all right, you have a lot of cool words down in your stage. I'm going to say, get rid of them. We're going to start back on turn 1, but I get to play first.
Mm-hmm.
Dummy.
Yeah, it's oppressive. If you have like Battle Arena, it's you have a guaranteed attack. So you've got probably a guaranteed momentum, unless they have like minus speed on their face and they want to try to block it. But it's pretty strong, especially against Titan characters, because you can just say like, well, you got to 8 cards. I guess you got to do it again, and also try to live through 2 more Godzilla turns.
With that, and with everybody having given their thoughts on the prize wall and the prizings and what we are currently thinking about playing in January, let's wrap this sucker up. Final
We're not
thoughts.
even at an hour yet.
Final thoughts.
I don't like final thoughts. We're not even at an hour yet.
We're at 53 minutes. We're good.
No, we're not. The expectation should be an hour. Every episode should be an hour.
It'll wrap up slightly before an hour, bro. Or you can leave this whole argument in to get at the runtime.
to just
Pad out the time. Who's really a Death fan? Am I right?
it's not
I'm
Brian.
Oh, that's true. I'm just a casual.
He's a
Brian's
casual
about
enjoyer.
Brian's about to death Jake if he keeps complaining about the time.
I mean, really death him if he keeps complaining about combined firepower.
I haven't even combined.
There we go. There's our
Oh
7
my!
minutes.
Oh my
there
God!
we go.
I haven't even
Combined
complained about combined firepower yet. Okay, first off, that card needs to go. This needs to stay in after post.
No, this
Combined-
is just a TikTok reel.
No! Combined firepower needs to go. I hate that card. It's so annoying. In Atlanta, I played the Attack Titan. And that card, like, I'll block. Okay, cool. I'll play a second attack. I'll block again with combined firepower. Okay, I'll play another attack. Okay, I'll block that one. That's fine. Oh yeah, it doesn't count, but those don't count towards progressive. Okay. Okay, cool. I'll play another attack. I'll play 4 attacks. I'm gonna block with combined firepower from my drop again. Okay, sick. You've blocked with 3 combined firepower, so you have 1 card in your pool that counts towards progressive, and you're 4 blocks in. I've already played 4 attacks. I'll play a 5th attack. Okay, cool. I'll block it because I am playing on 1 progressive. All right, sick. I'll block your next one, and you just do that for and then you tap out for my 7th attack. When I'm already pretty much also tapped out because I played 7 attacks.
Listen,
And I can't hit you with a single one because you blocked with combined firepower 3 times and they don't count towards progressive. You should have tapped out 3 attacks ago. I should have killed you. Card doesn't need to exist, or it needs to
it's
not
a plus
count.
3 block mod. It's bad.
No, getting to block when you have any amount of speed reduction on a 3 mod is ridiculous. It should not count towards progressive on your turn. It needs to be fixed to not count towards progressive either on your turn or it needs to go. I don't think it'll get banned because it's in a starter deck or a challenger deck, sorry. But come on. Come on. Please make it so it doesn't count towards progressive on your turn. You shouldn't get to hold all those cards in your hand and block completely from your drop and just go, hey, I don't worry about consequences. That's for my opponent who can't play combined firepower. It's dumb. It's dumb.
Just play a deck that runs combined firepower.
No, that
Or a deck
card.
that can remove it.
Or cards that can remove it.
No, that card is toxic and I hate it.
I mean, I'm not really disagreeing with you. And there are answers to that. But also at the same time, you have to be on those symbols and you need to find room to squeeze it in, whether it be the main board or sideboard. It's primarily you're going to try to find room for it in the sideboard if you do run up against a firepower deck.
I know the worst sideboarder of all time is not sitting here talking to me about putting cards in my sideboard. Do not sit here and pretend like, oh, every symbol has shown you can just deal with it. It's like Bertolt. It's like new Bertolt. Like, Bertolt needs to get fixed. He is so oppressive.
Yes, he is.
He is just
he's awful.
ridiculously oppressive for no reason. I don't know who thought giving this guy the ability to do every ability in the game was a good idea.
Dude, somebody at
It does
Universus
feel like
loves
that.
Bertolt. Like, somebody is simping so hard for this man. For what? He's just a guy. Like, there's nothing interesting about
Just a
Bertolt.
guy.
Now
He's
hold on a
just
minute.
innocent
Now, hold on here.
guys.
Well, slight spoilers for AOT. We'll have to wait for the next set. Maybe they just love the Colossus Titan. If Armin the Colossus Titan's broken, he just likes Colossus.
Fair
Okay.
enough. I was gonna say that was definitely true for Kirishima. That's why the first two got eroded.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like that's the thing is like all they have to do for Bertolt 2 is just make his like discard 2 draw. And the problem is it's not even discard 2 draw 2, so like if you can't discard, you can't activate it. You can just draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. Why? That's free damage.
You're just playing your entire deck. As long
Like-
as you build a few and you check okay.
And he has access to latent skill. Like he has access to Ugh! Why? It should be once per turn on either player's turn that he can draw 2, discard 2. And on his backside, committing your opponent's foundation should be like a once per turn or something. Or like removing it should be like a once per turn. There needs to be some type of limit. Because when I'm at 29 health and Bertolt 2 just goes, I play an attack, commit something, sick, get this out of my card pool.
And
I
I
play
draw
an
a card.
Oh, yeah, and you draw a card, sorry. My bad.
And I
don't-
get 2 damage. Don't forget that he does everything.
Oh, yeah, he does get 2 damage. And he just plays another one, casually removes it. So he's not playing on progressive at all. And he's tapping all my stuff. On top of getting to keep drawing cards. So he just gets to keep finding attacks. The amount of times that James has revealed his hand after the game, like, yeah, I have like 6 more attacks in hand. Yeah, no shit. You've drawn all of them. That's ridiculous.
And
Yep.
he has 31 health. Like, what can't he do?
What
can
can't
he
he
not
what,
do?
what can't he do?
I don't
Have more
I
than
don't-
5 hand size
Like,
to begin
play-
with.
It doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't matter. He's drawing his entire deck This is literally like if you're playing versus Bertolt 2, like go AFK. Just get up and walk away, go get some water. Like your opponent's gonna be filtering through their deck for the next 15 minutes. Like it's like you can't play the game, but your opponent gets to play the game. And then you come back and die because he has a god hand, because he has his entire deck in his hand.
Yeah, and he can play that dumb fire card that removes itself. If it's the second card played.
Yep.
So he'll just
Yes.
play like
That's a
something,
meme. It was great.
and that draws a card. He's got access to the other cards that when you discard, they draw. So he gets to go,
Yeah.
oh, shoot, I draw 2, discard 2. Oh, I discarded a card, so I'm actually +1. So I've seen all these cards, and I'm able to push you so hard on turn 3 and 4 before I even have to flip. And then when I flip, it's game over.
Do
So-
not let Bertolt players convince you that you have to think to play this character, because all you're doing is drawing cards and reading them. That's all you
You
have
don't even
to
have to read them. Is it orange? Put it in your card pool.
Yeah.
Your opponent
the
will
amount of
read them
times-
or they'll die. Those are their
Yeah,
choices.
Yeah, the amount of times as Bertolt, the 5-hander, I played 5 attacks
The
and
one that
still
got
had
second
6
in the
cards in
webcam.
hand.
Yeah, still
Uh,
have cards in
kinda
hand
crazy
and
as a 5-hander.
foundations to block with.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, going back a little bit of like how with Historia Reese being a 5-hander, Reese like she doesn't feel like a 5-hander because you can draw a good chunk of cards, like a good amount of cards. And seeing Bertolt 2 play, like you could just look at the character card and see that 5. That's a 5 with an asterisk on it. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's getting docked points in the Hall of Fame. Like that is nuts. Like that is beyond wild. But I think that's probably enough ranting. I'll rant about Bertolt 2 next week.
Yeah, we're over an hour now, so shush.
Yeah, we
So-
hit the hour mark, so wrap it up.
So wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
All right, moving on to our final segment here, about to wrap everything up. Do we have any final thoughts about everything we've talked about?
My final thought is that I'm really excited again about Prizewell. I'm excited about the extra support for these side events. Like I said, most of us are not going to win. That's just reality. Probably not going to even get top 32, and that's okay, because it'll be fun to go there, hang out with our friends, play in these like draft events, try to get this team trophy, and then get to that Prizewell and try to get some of the stuff on it. So I'm really looking forward to the extra support that Universus is throwing behind just the regular people that are paying money and spending time to come to this event and support their card game.
Yeah, my final thought is if it's ever a problem, Andrew will fix it in post. And I'm also jazzed about the prize wall. and hanging out with people I've met and my friends in Texas. So it'll be a good time.
Yeah, I think the prize wall is honestly, I personally think the prize wall is kind of the highlight here for me. Even though for someone who didn't really care for the side events, this prize wall does make me care for the side events. The participation pricing, like all the pricing, travel vouchers and everything, is very cool to see. And honestly, I'm just looking forward to just spending some time with friends and stuff in Texas Finance.
Yeah, and then for me, I'm looking forward to getting 3 symbol playmats that all are on Toga 3, even though I don't play her. And
Oh my
I
God,
don't
you're
know, let's
right.
just get a really big trinket to give away to somebody. I've got friends that are huge Crit Roll fans. I'll give one of them away, assuming I have the extra tickets. I'm first, but they can have my leftovers.
Final thoughts here. It sounds like we got a lot of basic mat haters. I'm excited for it. I think the mat looks good. I hope the metallic sheen that they got going on here shows up in the real life. But if not, then I'll swap over. I can be a hater. But right now I'm excited for it.
All right, wrapping this up and signing off. Steph, Godzilla Gamer.
Jake, please fix Bertolt 2.
Andrew, we'll fix it in post.
Brian, no further responses.
And I'm James. I'm just the other guy.